It is the Bones DK Golf Show. Welcome back. We may have been absent as a group for the last few weeks, but the register keeps ringing. A big win this week for the Bones DK Golf family, $3,500, and joined by TW Man 66. How you doing down in Tampa Bay, T-Dubs?
Feeling great. We're excited about this tournament. We've actually been to this tournament in the flesh a few years back. Tiger was there, Phil was there, VJ was there, Sean O'Hare. Probably the first time he's ever been mentioned with those three guys, huh? But looking forward to this event. Glad to be back.
Bones DK Golf, the namesake, had a big win this week, $3,500, and I do want to toot my own horn a little bit. I guess I can toot yours also, guys. I won the listener contest the week before. You guys finished second and third, so Bones, you're having a pretty hot month right now to end May, getting into June here. Tell us a little bit about the climactic win that you had this week. Finished third, and what was it, a $100 bet?
Yeah, it was actually the 333 135-man contest 3 max. And yeah, we're still celebrating over here. I've been playing some golf. The Ian Poulter back-to-back 30-foot putts. Hey, if luck wasn't involved, it's it's not gambling. So we're celebrating. The guy got it done for us. I got to give Wildman a lot of credit for that one because I was not really on Poulter. I was big on Hoffman and Griot, which both finished in the top 10. But, man, he got me on Poulter, 2% owned. Man, that was fun. I didn't even realize it. I was kind of upset hanging out with my friends, and I opened my phone, and my name jumped up to third place. So that's, why I was just so excited. I think we were in 8th or 9th place heading into that final putt. So, yeah, great week, and, riding the heater heading into this week.
Poulter was a great get there, Wildman. Remind us what you liked so much about him, because he is a guy that is hit and miss week in and week out, although lately it seems like he's playing pretty solid. What did you like about him so much last week?
He's a guy that, it's just dependent on the course he's playing, He's got a really, really simple game that's, pretty non-aggressive off the tee, pretty standard up into the greens, and then he's just got that flat stick that everybody's heard about at the Ryder Cup that can pour it in. But, I mean, honestly, we're just trusting the process. We're picking the course. We're picking the attributes that we think are going to matter. We're running a model on fantasynational.com, and we're committing to it. And he was up there, like 7th or 8th as far as my custom stat model went. So it wasn't too difficult to get on him, to be honest with you.
Let's stay with you for a minute here, TW Man, because the U.S. Open is just over the horizon here. We got Murrayfield Village coming up this week, the 2021 Memorial Tournament. It's a Jack Nicklaus designed course. You said you've been there before, so just talk a little bit about this course. I know they revamped it a little bit over the last few years, but it is a good test run for the U.S. Open that's going to be coming up at Torrey Pines. What do you like? What do you dislike about the course this week?
Yeah, like Jack Nicklaus. I mean, first of all, is there any sport that just props up a scarecrow as much as this guy? I mean, every time you're watching PGA golf, you see Nicklaus's face like he's the only guy that's ever played. Anyways, this is his place in Muirfield. I think he's a native here in Dublin, Ohio, that is. And, he's famous for claiming that, the conditions were so hard when he played. So that's what he's trying to make here, almost like major difficulty. So like 4-inch, 5-inch rough in places. There's a lot of water that runs up fairways. It's a longer course. Now, talk about revamping it. They added only about 100 yards to it, so it's probably not going to change a whole lot as far as the course history goes. But, par 72, the toughest holes are coming into 18, 15, 16, 17, and 18. But it's got gettable par 5s, so it rewards risk. Really checks all the boxes of what a major tournament has, which is the way that Nicklaus wants it. But again, a lot of water, a lot of sand, a lot of risk reward here. Bent grass everywhere on the course, including the green. So that's what you're looking at this week.
The reason you hear so much about Jack Nicklaus is he's won 18 major championships, and he finished second or third 55 times, I think, in majors also. And he's won more tournaments than Tiger Woods. I think that's also true. So that's why you hear about Jack Nicklaus all the time. I don't want to cut that man down, the Golden Bear. But Bones DK, what kind of stats are you looking at this week with a course that's going to be playing a lot like U.S. Open conditions? Do you like your boy Bryson DeChambeau that can bomb it out there? Are you looking for somebody that's a little more precision-based here? What kind of stats are you looking for?
Yeah, obviously Bryson can contend any week, but I'm looking for accuracy off the tee. Obviously, strokes gained approach, and then anyone that can play around the green a little bit, to save yourself there. So those are the three stats I'm looking at. Definitely driving accuracy and strokes gained approach.
By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Jay Kokrak, who won last week for the second time on tour, second time in his career, second time this season. We're a big fan of Kokrak on the podcast, and I do think Kokrak won that tournament. He played excellent down the stretch, but the guy we're going to lead the podcast off with here today, the highest priced guy on DraftKings, is Jordan Spieth, who did everything he possibly could to lose the golf tournament last week. Spieth coming in at 11,300. Rahm is actually the Vegas book favorite, 10-1 odds. He's coming in at 11,001. Bryson DeChambeau, who I think the three of us are on Team Chambeau. At least I am in the Koepka DeChambeau rivalry. You got McIlroy at 10-6. Morikawa, who I know Wildman likes a lot. We'll let him make his case here in just a moment at 10-4. Justin Thomas. Victor Hovland then is the first guy in the four-digit category at 9,900. This field is loaded, Bones DK. Who you like in that top tier? Are you going stars and scrubs this week, or how's your lineup design going to go, and who do you like out of that first tier of guys?
Yeah, man, this is a loaded field. Obviously, you got Jordan Spieth up there, who I actually love this week. Wildman was surprised that he was the number one price guy, but I can see it. I mean, his stats are there. I believe he's won here before. I could be wrong, but I know he has good history here. The irons are still there. You can see on the approach here, he's great off the tee. He's good around the green. He's putting well. So I like this guy to contend again. So I'm looking at him pretty strongly here. The other guys I'm looking at, I'm not on Bryson actually this week. Like I said, he can contend any week, but I'm sticking to Colin Morikawa. Obviously, his irons are still there. Gaining 9.1 last week, I believe, off the 8.2. But look at those stats right there. I mean, gaining almost 8 or 7 on strokes gained approach. He's doing great off the tee. He's just terrible at putting as always, and not that great around the green. So that's obviously something to worry about. But I think he'll be low owned this week. I'm hoping at least. And the other guy I'm looking at is just Justin Thomas at this price, $10,200. I just think that's a little cheap for the guy. He could easily be the second or third best price guy here. So I just think there's a lot of value with JT this week. Obviously, he can win any tournament at any time, more than Bryson, in my opinion. So I like JT as a savings over Bryson.
Justin Thomas is juicy at 10,200 this week. 5 guys priced higher than Justin Thomas also. You're not going to find many tournaments on DraftKings where that's the case. Wildman, we want to hear your thoughts on Morikawa, and where do you stand right now on DeChambeau? Is he a guy you like this week? I kind of actually believe that DeChambeau is one of these guys in this beef with Koepka right now. I think this motivates a guy like DeChambeau. I think he's going to want to come out here and kill it. If not this week, certainly in the U.S. Open. I keep him on your radar. Not that he's off your radar, but how do you feel about the DeChambeau angle, and how do you feel about Morikawa?
Yeah, DeChambeau, I'm not going to play DeChambeau this week, and I'm team Bryson over Brooks too. I just think Brooks is a weenie, but that's neither here nor there at the moment. But Bryson to me just isn't a guy that is as good as he is billed. Obviously, he's got a really unique game that can overpower courses. You could argue that would matter at a course like this that has very penal rough. So you gotta get it out there if you're gonna miss fairways. But there's just too much water running up and down these fairways. When Bryson won this event, which by the way he did win it in 2018, he was a different guy, man. He was 100 pounds lighter, hitting the ball 60 yards shorter. So again, just a guy that I don't think his mold fits at this particular course. It's that simple for me there. But yeah, we're back on Morikawa. Again, we're going to trust our model. He's number one in our custom model by far. And, you're getting him at a price where, like, I've been saying this for 6 months, haven't I? When is the guy who's won more than anybody since last year's PGA going to start getting the respect that he deserves? Now you got him above Justin Thomas. You got him above Xander, above Cantlay, above Victor Hovland. right behind Rory, a place where he really should be. So I expect him to play well. Remember, he won on this course last year, but it was the work day, which was changed at Muirfield because of COVID. So he's won a tournament on these grounds. And again, just a guy that can put it out there with enough distance in the fairway to set up those iron darts that he throws nonstop. So he's a guy we're definitely backing. A guy that, man, if he can run in the putts, good luck chasing him down. And then other note, real quick, I'm sorry. It is insane to me that the 28th ranked golfer in the world is the highest priced DraftKings player. That's bizarre.
It is. I don't think Spieth is a great play at $11,300 this week. Let's talk about that $9,000 tier. This is a really tough tier, guys, because these are all guys we love on this podcast. Hoffman, we've talked a lot about. I think this could be Schauffele's week, actually. He's just got a lot of good media buzz, a lot of positive vibes, and this is a juicy price for him at $9,700. You have Cantlay at $9,500, Matsuyama, who we love on this podcast, at $94,000, Connors, who I play week in and week out. I love Corey Connors, man, at $9,300, Finau at $92,000, Reed at $91,000, Scheffler at $9,000. All guys who get a lot of airtime on this podcast. How do you feel about this middle group of guys here, Rob?
Yeah, this is a stacked range right here. Finau was on our winning team last week, so got to give him some looks. He has pretty good history here, too. He just seems to always contend, but it's a little frustrating just, seeing him just not contend. I need him to win a tournament, and I keep betting a lot on him. Though he did pay off last week. He was on the winning team. I could have had him do a little better, and I think we could have taken first place there. But his irons are there. He's great off the tee, good around the green. Did terrible putting last week. So I think Tony Finau is a sneaky play there. I definitely like Victor Hovland, though. He's my favorite play. He's leading off the 9K range. This guy can just, I'm hoping that he wins. I've been playing him a lot. I think this is a good opportunity for him. And hopefully some people are a little scared off of him with that 30th place at the PGA. But he's gaining on approach, good around the green, is putting great, which he doesn't typically putt great, and he's not really great around the green either. So I like what I see out of Victor Hovland there for sure.
I mean, what do you think, Wildman? Schauffele is at 97. Like I said, Matsuyama 94. Connors 93. Patrick Reed 9,100. I mean, these are all guys who could win this tournament, and you'd be getting great value out of getting the winner in the $9,000 range. Any of those guys moving the needle for you? Any of them going to crack your lineup this week?
I think you just made a great point there, all the way down to Reed. Look back at the history here: Rahm, Spieth, Matsuyama, Cantlay, Morikawa's won here. Granted, not this event, but heavy hitters are winning this event. Obviously, Tiger's won here a bunch too. Heavy hitters win this event. I mentioned it earlier. It's a major like course setup. With a major type field minus DJ and Brooks. So, you're going to get really, really quick greens. You're going to have some eagles on par fives. You're going to have some changes in scoring there, and then you're going to have trouble if you're missing fairways. So I do like the cliche that the cream will rise to the top. For that, I do like Schauffele, man. I mean, 9,700, a guy that really is going to probably be overlooked because you're looking at Thomas there undervalued. And then Cantlay's getting a lot of buzz. Corey Connors has been awesome. I would guess Schauffele will be one of the lower-ranked guys here. He's coming off back-to-back top 14s at this event. Flying under the radar. I like it. Sign me up.
I love Reed at 9,100 also. I just feel like any type of U.S. Open style grinding course is where Patrick Reed flourishes. And Scotty Scheffler, guy makes a ton of birdies, man. He's only made 14 of the 20 cuts this year, but he's a guy that we talk a lot about on this podcast as well at 9,000. Again, if he somehow gets into that top 10, top 5, you're going to get a lot of value out of a $9,000 guy right there. Let's jump down to the $8,000 tier. Again, this is a loaded tier. Sam Burns at 89, Neiman at 88, Fitzy at 87, Cam Smith, who was red hot at one point just a few weeks ago, was red hot, 86. Oosthuizen, who's, a unique player in every tournament, 85. Lowry, 84. Our boy, Charlie Hoffman, I don't know, 83 seems like a great price for Charlie Hoffman right now. And then you got Horschel at 81, Im at 82, and Keegan Bradley at 8. I mean, again, these seem like guys to me, Bones DK, that could make or break your lineup. And again, I'd say really, half of the guys I just named have a legitimate shot to win the damn tournament. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, my favorite guys are in the bottom part of this range. Obviously, I play Joaquin Niemann a lot. I do like that guy. Then you have Fitzpatrick and Cam Smith. A lot of people like that guy. Fitzmagic might move the needle for me, but man, Charlie Hoffman. I don't know if I'm going to play him this week, but he is goated in my opinion. This guy's winning me money every week. I'm going to have a share of him and Corey Connors in the same lineup just because I've been playing those guys every week. But look at those irons. They're still there. 7.9, 8.2, 6.6 in the last 3. Great off the tee. Not too great around the green, but hey, when you're gaining 8 strokes on approach, you're not too worried around the green. So Charlie Hoffman's is someone I look at. He does have horrible history, but hopefully that scares people off him. I'm going to look at Hoffman pretty strongly here. But my favorite play in this range is Keegan Bradley at $8,000. I just think that price is way too low for him. I play this guy a lot. He was on the B Covey 52K lineup. He can obviously contend in tournaments, and this guy just wants to win, I feel like. A couple top 20s in a row at the second of the Valspar. Just an overall good player. Look at his approach here, just gaining, I can't even count, 20 straight tournaments. Great out the tee, good around the green, and if he can make a few putts, coming off a 17th at the PGA, give me some Keegan Bradley. He is my favorite play, maybe of the week.
Any thoughts about that, Wildman, and any of those guys in the $8,000 range?
Yeah, I do agree with Rob as far as Keegan, being hungry to win. Now, keep in mind, he hasn't won an event with a cut since 2013. But yeah, he's a tee to green stud when he's clicking. The other guy I want to talk about, and I think I said this to you earlier, Rob, when we picked Billy Horschel at the match play, one of the things that pushed us over the edge was just like, when this guy's on the course, man, he just wants it. He's the guy that's marking the 2.5 footer and giving it an extra look. Like he's out there to contend and hit every shot the best he can. I actually feel that about Charlie Hoffman too. There's a story, Hoffman was at the Canadian Open on the 72nd hole trying to contend with Johnny Vegas to win it a couple years ago. And they picked up some audio from Hoffman. Hoffman says, "I'm going for the green on the par 5 18th. Caddy looks at him and says, "Charlie, that's a tough shot. I don't know if you should do it." Charlie looks at the caddy and says, "I'm trying to win a damn golf tournament." So, you're going to get that kind of grind out of Hoffman too. You just can't argue recent form. We're golfers. When you're teeing it up and you're hitting it well. You don't have to warm up as much. You're just feeling. Now, we're amateurs, obviously. But, you're just feeling good, man. You're believing in it. Big backer on Charlie this week. And I just mentioned Billy Horschel, too, right there. So Charlie, Billy, and Keegan are going to get looks from me, as well as Shane Lowry, who you mentioned Reed is a major type grinder player. I feel the same way about Lowry. He's not afraid to hit a 2-iron off the tee. Just a low worm burner out there in the fairway and go from there. So I do tend to agree that this lower 8K range is where you're going to see one or two guys on the top of the leaderboard come Sunday.
Just a love fest right now for Charlie Hoffman and Keegan Bradley on the podcast. By the way, did Charlie Hoffman immediately fire his caddy after he won the golf tournament at the Canadian Open and pull a Shooter McGavin?
Well, he didn't win it.
McGavin says, "Oh, wedge, huh?"
He converted the shot, but he ended up losing, I think, in a playoff to Vegas. But
oh man! All right, well, we can get down into this $7,000 tier. There are a lot of guys in here that I think could make a lot of noise and could make or break your lineup here. You're looking at guys like Gary Woodland, Adam Scott, Bubba Watson, Leishman, who's been on fire recently, and then you got your, guys that were on top that are kind of by the wayside but still dangerous. Jason Day, right? Max Homa, who's won twice. Stu Sink, who everybody thought was washed up, won once this year. Streelman, Schwartzel. Kuchar's down there at 7,400. So there's a lot of guys in this $7,000 tier. Before we get to Wildman's DK Flyer of the Week, who do you like in that $7,000 tier? Anybody that you want to talk about, Bones DK? That you think could really boost someone's lineup and give them the edge this weekend?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I never mentioned this guy. I haven't played him maybe in a whole year or two. I don't even know if I've ever played him. But someone that's moving the needle for me is Gary Woodland. He just seems to be finally playing some pretty good golf. He's a major champion. Great off the approach in the last 3 tournaments. Doing great off the tee. Okay on around the green, and good at putting. 5th place at the Wells Fargo. Coming off a 14th at the Charles Schwab. Another top 10 he had in April at the Valero Texas Open. So this guy's playing pretty good golf. I think under the radar. So yeah, 7,900. I do like Gary Woodland. Griot's a guy I play all the time. His irons are still there. You just got to worry about him around the green and putting. He's kind of riding a hot putter right now, though his irons are some of the best in golf right now, gaining over 7 strokes and over 6 in the last 4 out of 5. So coming off at 8th place at Charles Schwab, he's trending up. He is a guy I like. Just watch out for his putting and around the green. And another guy I really like, which apparently a lot of people are, I don't know though, is Kevin Streelman. I just know he's a great par 5 player. He can hit it well. He's been in great form. I've been seeing him play. Been seeing him on TV a lot, making some great shots. His approach is there. He's great off the tee. Not great around the green, but he's just someone that can come up. 8th place at the PGA, 20th at the Charles Schwab in his last 2. So give me some Kevin Streelman this week. 2 guys I might dig a little deeper into is Tringali and Bezenhout. Refer to my top plays if those guys do make it onto my list. I just got to dig a little deeper on them, but I am eyeing up those guys. But that's pretty much the only guys moving the needle for me in the upper 7K range.
I know we got the U.S. Open coming up, and guys want to fine-tune their games, but, I mean, this is just a loaded field, Wildman. Even down here in the $7,000 tier, I can't believe it. One other guy I want to throw out, and I hope I'm not stealing your flyer of the week. This guy named Patton Kaziri, or Kazir.
Kazire.
Has anybody heard of him?
Patton Kazire.
Made 17 and 20 cuts and finished excellent this past week. Is he on anybody's radar? It seems like that price at $7,300 is pretty decent for that guy.
Yeah, he's coming in about mid-range in the model for me, but he does have some good iron play recently. So look, you're getting down here in this 7,300 range. This really is like the gray line between, the winners and the guys that can, top 10 in my opinion. So I mean, I do agree with you, man. I mean, it's just stacked up here. It's almost like harder than a major. Streelman, I think somebody just mentioned, has been incredible off the tee and contended at a major and backed it up last week with a good finish. Look, if you can get off the tee and get into the fairway, it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, right? Like, set yourself up in the fairway, you're going to have opportunities. I like it. I mean, he's 11th in the model. And then we talk about par 5 scoring and the ability to make eagles. There's one dude who's been making eagles almost every Sunday I've been tuned in, and it's Stuart Sink, regardless of the course, whether it's Augusta or Heritage or wherever. Man, he's reinvented himself right now. But, yeah, boy, there's probably like 40, 50 guys that can win here and get the handshake from Bernie Lomax afterwards. I'm sorry, Jack. Jack will be there.
So who is your Bones TK Flyer of the Week this week?
Okay, so the Flyer of the Week is really, really low. I think he's extraordinarily underpriced, and a guy that's getting looks from me, in my actual lineup, not just as a flyer. 2-time winner on the PGA Tour. 2 top 6s in the last 4 playings of the Memorial here at Muirfield Village. Kyle Stanley, 6,100, coming in off several made cuts in a row, in 8th last week. And, a guy that can win on the tour. I don't know if any of you guys remember as far back as like 2012, but he had a 3-shot lead on the 72nd hole going for his first win. Put it in the water, spun it back off the green, put it in the water, lost to Snedeker, made triple on 18, lost to Snedeker in a playoff, came back the very next week, 4 days later at the Waste Management, I believe, and won for the first time on tour. So guy that's been there, a guy that's seen a lot of ups and downs, historically a great iron player, and a guy that's trending well right now. 6,100 all day long for me. More than just a flyer. I'd play him.
It's good stuff right there, man. That's good analysis. The 2021-2022 school year where I am located in West Virginia, starts August 24th. And today was my last day of work.
Wow.
Of the school year. So I don't actually have to go back to work. I'm on like an 81-day weekend right now. So, Rob, if you had the next 81 days ahead of you, besides try to play 100 rounds of golf, what would you do at that kind of time?
Oh man, well, I could really use that, but I'm out west right now, so I'd head to the mountains and hike some trails and play some golf and gamble on golf. I would never stop doing that. I'd be hiking and gambling and hopefully making money. So, yeah, it sounds like a dream. And
no matter what, I'm never going to stop gambling. So don't even think about it. Doesn't matter how much time off I get. But Wildman, 81 days. What are you doing with it?
Casino visits go up, golf rounds go up, beers drank goes up. A lot of things go up that probably aren't good for me. But hey, you got to keep fighting the good fight,
Hey, I got 32 rounds in right now out of 100. I'm going to get 33 in on Friday and 34 on Saturday. Those are booked already. And like I just said, guys, I don't have to work for a while. So the quest to 100 is really getting down to business starting tomorrow. So are you guys still on the over or the under? I'm at 32.
I think you have the time to do it, but I'm sticking with the under because of the weather in that region. It just rains, too much.
I played 27 holes on Saturday. I couldn't even get out of bed on Sunday. So can my body hold up also? It is one thing I wonder. What do you think, Bones DK? You've always been a fan of mine. Will I still get the over, or you think I'm on a good pace?
Man, I can't believe you're already at 30 plus rounds. Yes, I think you'll easily cover. What else are you going to do? I mean, I don't even know how you get it in while work, let alone now you have 81 days off. You'll get it in, rain or shine. I bet you'll get the round in. So I'm easy over it. In fact, I think it's like a minus 220 at this point.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can follow the Quest guys, Golf Guy WV. Good to be back on the podcast, boys. Missed it for the last few weeks. Any final thoughts before we sign off, Bones DK?
There's just one more guy I did want to mention, Taylor Gooch. I mentioned his name last week. I don't know if you consider him a flyer at $7,100, but if I'm allowed to call a flyer at $7,100 a flyer, he is my flyer this week. I just like this guy's approach, and coming to 14th at the Charles Schwab, he was in contention. So give me some Taylor Gooch at $7,100 this week. Other than that, good luck, everyone that's win some money this week.
TW Man, any final thoughts?
Hey, did you know that Jack and Mrs. Nicholas used to make butter bread for all the golfers in 1968 at Muirfield?
Well, I hate goodbyes, but hey, for Bones DK Golf, TW Man 66. My name is Edge. Follow me, Golf Guy WV on Twitter. Good luck this week with the Colonial at Muirfield, the Jack Nicklaus design course. Thanks for listening.
Is it the Colonial?
Or the Memorial, that's what I meant to say.
Ouch.
That's all right.
Yeah, you can cut it out at the end, whatever. I don't care.
I'm still recording. I might even add this into it.